Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Nate Branco here. Welcome to Showcase Central, episode double one. You know what? We're going to roll with episode 11. That's just the way it is, you know? And we are going to talk about some crazy baseball news that happened over the weekend. I'm also going to dish out some disappointments of what's been going on throughout the season because let's be real, it's already crazy as it is. Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. It was sure as hell nice out. Played some softball yesterday. I got freaking red marks and I was tired as all hell yesterday. So I actually didn't really get to see much baseball aside from the Rangers and the Red Sox at night, which actually not a bad game, but we all know how that turned out. The Sox took 2 out of 3 and they still land 29-40. Still chilling in last place in the division. Yay. We're going to talk about a team that actually killed it yesterday afternoon. And we're also going to speak about some disappointments throughout the season, so far at least. And then, of course, I'm going to dish out your DraftKings Lock of the Day Nate edition. So, you know what? Let's get to it. Grab a drink, grab something to eat, put in your AirPods, and just chill out. Whether you're getting home from work, whether you're getting home from school, wherever. Let's just say we had ROCKIN SLUGGERS in Nevada. Rockies mashed 23 home runs, which actually happens to be a club record. And they actually ended up winning that game 23-9. I know. 23 runs with the Rockies in the same area. We're living in an alternate universe, folks. Willie Castro with 7 RBIs. Hunter Goodman with 5 hits. He went 5 for 6 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Let's just say that team batted around at least twice. Because holy shit, to put up that much, that's just insane. That's unheard of. Why can't we see the Rockies like this? Why can't we see actual competition from the Rockies, man? Because it seems like yesterday was actually their best performance all year. There's no Mickey Moniak. That was just all like scrubs and just young kids in that lineup. Like, it was crazy. Their pitching's not even good either. Their pitching is ass. You could literally throw some high schoolers in there and you'll probably get better competition. Let's just say during that series, they had 32 runs, 39 hits, 19 extra base hits, and 76 total bases. And that all right there was the most that they had this season. Insane. They still happen to lose that series, though. The 3-game series against the A's. A's took that series 2 out of 3. But hey, there's still plenty more baseball to go. But I guarantee you that this next game that the Rockies play, it's going to be like at least a minimum of 5 runs. Watch. Because usually when a team blows up like that, you don't see a performance like that the very next game or the next day, whatever. You don't see a performance like that. It's insane. But yeah, Rockies just happened to pull this out of nowhere yesterday, and I was actually pretty shocked to see it. But at the same time, I gave praise where praise was due, guys. Good shit. Okay, so we are gonna dive into the 2026 MLB disappointments. Oh man, you guys are gonna probably throw in your hat into whichever player, whichever team. I'm gonna give you guys some of my freaking stance on this. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about Manny Machado. Manny Machado, pretty much, we might be seeing the digression of him. Because, let's be real, this year he has not been stellar at all. He hasn't even been consistent either. So let's go through his averages at least the past 2 years. So let's just say 2024, his average was 275. Last year, 275. What is he this year? 175. I know. Let's just say he's blaming analytics for this bad start. He claims that the game is evolving in this and that. Dude, are we for real? Come on. Sure, the game may be evolving in the way that the ABS strike zone is, but that's a bit of robotics, just with them in the umpires not having an actual good look at it. And I know nowadays batters they have to tap their head, or even the catcher will do it depending on what the situation is. And legit, that's really it. Anything else, the game is pretty much still the same. I don't know why you would blame analytics. You're literally still playing baseball. The same old school game. The same game that every kid is playing nowadays. So that, when he mentioned that, I did not understand. But hey, whatever. People will always have something to blame. And this year, he's got 12 home runs, 35 RBIs, and an OPS of 613. Ironically, though, he's still leading the team in home runs and RBIs, which is actually pretty crazy to me. That doesn't say much, especially from when their core is literally consisted of him, Tatis, and Jackson Merrill. And Jackson Merrill, he hasn't looked good at all this year, and that man is batting with an average of at least 207. I know. Let's just say he recently turned 33, and I feel like 33, 34, well, even 35, I feel like that's around the age area that we start seeing players actually start to regress. Could we be saying that with Manny Machado? He's been fair. I know when he first arrived in San Diego, he was at his peak. And that was at the very beginning of his contract and where he got it. He looked good. I know at one point in 2022, he was a NL MVP finalist, eventually losing to Bryce Harper at that time. We could see it. I don't know. But, I mean, still early in the season. Maybe he goes on a big hit streak or whatever. I feel like Manny still plays very good defense, but the bat just isn't waking up at the moment. His teammate, let's talk about Fernando Tatis Jr. Let's just say, generational player, man. He lost his power in his swing, and he actually only has 2 home runs, believe it or not. He very rarely hits the ball in the air, and he mostly hits just a lot of grounders nowadays. Just a lot of ground ball base hits. And I feel like he could have changed his swing and just changed up his mechanics compared to the past few years. Because I feel like in the 2 years, speaking of 2021 and 2022, I felt like he had a lot more pop in his swing. And I feel like we're not seeing it now. And it's just, I know he went through some freaking motorcycle accident a few years back. And I know at one point he took PEDs and he was out for a while. And do you guys think that could be a reason why? I don't know. I mean, personally, I don't blame that. I don't think that at all. I think he's just in his head, and he just decided, oh, I'm going to try and change my swing a bit. Oh, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. But, dude, honestly, whatever you're doing, it's not working. Go back to what worked. Honestly, I don't know if you guys definitely heard this saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like he broke something. Because, honestly, he looks broken right now, and I don't like it. I enjoy Fernando. I really do. He's awesome. He rejuvenated his career going from shortstop to right field. And I know nowadays he's playing some second base, and that's actually not bad for him. That's not a bad place to put him. This year, though, he's actually leading the team in average offensive batting percentage. And hits. He has a 282 average, 2 home runs, 24 RBIs, and an OPS of 696. Yes, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's his stats. Pretty much, I guess you could say he's batting for average, I guess. Who is he? Luis Arias? But, hey. Hopefully he finds his power in his swing. Hit the gym, bro. Let's talk about team disappointments. Man. I was expecting a big-time AL East this year. I'm going to talk about 2 teams from the AL East that are actually underperforming. I'm pretty sure you guys already know. Boston's one of them. But another team I'm going to mention is the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are 3rd in the AL East. They are 34-38. The injury bug has also killed them. Let's just say a team that usually is on the big stage like they were last year. They were very surprising. Nobody expected them to actually kill it, but they did. They were Game 7. Injuries like Shane Bieber, Addison Barger, Yimi Garcia. Heck, you can even throw in Alejandro Kirk in there. They haven't been around for most of the season, which sucks because that's some talent right there. But at the same time, you have underperformers such as Vlad, George Springer, Dalton Varsho, Davis Schneider, and Alejandro Kirk. He's also been underperforming as much as he hasn't been around. They haven't done much. They haven't done shit this year, which sucks because all those guys are talented. Nathan Lucas, has only been really hitting for average, and he just needs have a little more oomph in that lineup. And even their rookie third baseman, who's actually replacing Bo Bichette currently at the moment, he leads the team in home runs, but he doesn't have the average that Bo Bichette did when he was there. Honestly, their team dipped in average at least a little bit, 10%. They did compared to last year. From what I'm noticing, this team lost its power over the offseason. They did. And there hasn't been, like, if you were to compare like the opening day lineup, it didn't really change much. Aside from Okamoto replacing Bo Bichette. But obviously, like I just mentioned, injuries came into play. You know, you had Tyler Heineman be in there. He's already DFA'd. He's out. You have these depth players coming in, and so on. It's just not looking to. I mean, the season's not bleak for them. Obviously, a wild card spot is definitely in the cards for them. But I mean, that's just so far. Once you go to the World Series, then it's hard to go back. But I mean, you never know. The AL, it's not that good this year, so you never know with the Blue Jays, man. You never know. They could shock the world again. All right, let's talk about the Red Sox. 29-40, last in the AL East. This season's been ugly. Let's just be real. They mostly score 3 runs per game at Fenway. And they are literally like, what? At least 12-25 at Fenway this year? Disgusting. They play worse in Fenway than they do on the road. And you look at that lineup, man. They just look so lifeless. I know Jarren Duran's been a little better lately, and even Caleb Durbin, he did not look good starting the season, but I mean, he's been looking somewhat all right as of late. But the only guy that actually looks pretty damn sourceful is Wilson Contreras. Yet the Sox are looking for a right-handed batter in this trade deadline. Honestly, I think they have a lot more issues than just a right-handed batter. And honestly, like, there is no Garrett Crochet and there's no Roman Anthony for majority of the season. And it's just the bullpen also hasn't been looking that stellar either. Just issues upon issues upon issues. Speaking of issues, oh man, let's talk about the New York Mets. Last in the NL East, man. 32 and 39. Let's just say all these offseason moves that they pulled have backfired on them so bad. Steve Cohen must be kicking himself in the ass right now. David Stern and Steve Cohen. Let's go through the terrible offseason that they had. So let's just say, to kick it all off, they did not want to pay Pete Alonso what he wanted, so he walked. And pretty much they have the worst offense. And they have the biggest hole at first base. Not anybody such as Jared Young, whoever the hell that is, Brett Beatty, or even Mark Vientos. They can't do shit at first base. It looks awful over there. They traded some big-time prospects for Freddie Peralta, who is actually 5-5 and has an ERA of 3.90 ERA. I'm sorry. Freddie hasn't looked all that this year compared to what he was last year, and I'm a fan of his. I thought he was a solid pitcher. I mean, I hope he turns it around. I really do, because he was the ace going into the season, and now he's just looking like a number 2 at this point. They traded for Luis Robert Jr. He's barely played, and he's mostly injured. Wow. If he wasn't like that in Chicago, oh my God. The Chicago White Sox freaking... They got Luis Angel Acuna in that freaking trade. Oh my God. Thank God they got rid of him. And he hasn't even hit well either. Yeah, you barely see that guy on the field, whether he's in freaking Chicago or New York. Irony. They signed Jorge Polanco. Jorge Polanco was actually solid when he was in Minnesota as well as Seattle during the playoffs last year. He only played 14 games. Let's go to Bo Bichette. They paid him. They made him the 4th highest player going into the season. He's hitting .227, and he has an offensive batting percentage of .277. Bo might actually leave the team after the season because honestly, it hasn't looked good for him at all, man. It's tough. Tough watching that. Tough watching him. He just looks miserable over there. And I know he's admitted it himself that he hasn't looked good at all. But hey, who says he can't go back to Toronto after the season? Because he still could waive that player option. He could actually go back. You never know. Toronto fans, don't keep your hopes up. They signed Devin Williams to be their brand new closer after Edwin Diaz parted to LA over the offseason. And let's just say it's looked awful. He has an ERA in the 5s of 5.01 ERA. This one was crazy, honestly. The craziest for me. They traded Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien, and they even collected the rest of the years in that big deal he got from Texas back in 2022. I mean, from Marcus Semien. Let's just say so far, Texas looked like they got away with murder because Brandon Nimmo has actually looked pretty solid for Texas, and Marcus Semien has looked pretty ugly for New York. let's just say the Mets, they probably have it worse compared to anybody else in the league. And yes, even Boston. Let's talk about the DraftKings Lock of the Day, Nate edition. So what I have here, I have the Chicago Cubs going over the Colorado Rockies. I have the St. Louis Cardinals going over the San Diego Padres. And last but not least, I have the Philadelphia Phillies going over the Miami Marlins. Philadelphia, I'll see you on Wednesday. I can't wait for the game. I will arrive in Philly tomorrow night, leaving at 4 o'clock. So this should be fun. A 6-hour drive should be great. I'll be sleeping in the car on the way there. No, but it should be fun though. I can't wait to see players like Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. I'm actually getting to see Sandy Alcantara versus Andrew Painter. We'll see how the Philly fan base is over there. Might get mauled, so I gotta blend in Philly colors. Might have to wear some red, some white, or might even buy a Bryce Harper shirt because I'm a freaking fan of his. You know what I'm saying? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's episode of Showcase Central, episode 11. Tune in, episode 12, on Friday afternoon. Like and subscribe. Guys, go enjoy yourself. It's another nice day out. Go out for a drive, go out for a walk, whatever. I'm actually going to go eat something and just, enjoy the rest of my day. I will see you on Friday. And I will let you know before I go. I'll let you know. I might surprise you guys with a special guest on Friday. Stay tuned.